Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 Hour to make the best game ever. Good, we are back with the ghost objects. Good, let's go back to game client, CPP. Yeah, so... no, actually it was ghost objects. This, right, so we were thinking how can we show and hide all the objects when we switch the player right away. Sure. So if we have a parent object, well, if we don't, I think what we need to do is we need to go through all drawables instead. Yeah. How do we go through all drawables? Let's go back to game clients. Game clients. Is it? Here. So in game client, we go through all the drawables with here. First drawable. There we go. Okay, so here at the bottom, draw. Let's go at the game clients. First drawable. While draw. And then we do draw equals next drawable. Okay. And then we say this here. We need to get hands on the shroud status. Okay, let's comment this out. And so we do while draw. Why is this? Expected a declaration? What? I don't know why this is complaining. Expected a declaration. Why? What is this? Huh? What is the problem? Ah. That's what the problem is. Okay, so if it's not ghosted, then how do we get the shroud status? Let's also go back to game client. Object get shrouded status. Object. Oh, so the object owns the partition data. Uh-huh. 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 Draw, get object. Get shrouded status. Shroud status. For trouble, draw, not null, draw, next trouble. Okay, maybe this will work. So basically, hold on, there's some player index. We need to pass local. Let's call here get local player index. We can maybe move this up here. There we go. Play index. Okay, let's see what happens on this one. Okay, so let's click on this guy. Okay, let's click pause. Click on back, and we can see everything immediately. Yeah. Now we need to go one frame to update these things, but I think that is okay. Okay, and if we now click on a player again, then the things also disappear immediately, but they reappear right afterwards. They reappear. Okay, so it looks good when we switch here. We can immediately see the things. Let's test this again. So it's hidden, it's shown. Hidden, shown. Okay, so this works great. Yeah. I mean, the particle is still shown, but we don't care. That's fine. Okay, so this looks good to me. But now the problem is when we step forward, since these aren't ghost objects, they will reappear because of because of this frame thingy. Hold on. In a game client here, because because of this here. Um, unsigned int. Ghosted. So basically, we need to prevent this code from affecting those objects that we had just force hidden, right? We set them to obscured. Maybe. So what we could do is we could mess with this frame here, right? Plus. Maybe we don't need this ghosted status. Maybe we just need to have an invalid state for this guy. And when it is invalid, then it won't go through this logic here. Yeah. So right now the invalid state is 0. Okay, how about we make a fails. Save. Okay, let's do let's stop debugging. Let me do a stash. Then we do a advanced. No, revert this commit. And then we do a fix up commit for the revert. Okay. Then we do a stash pop. Okay, so now we have reverted this stuff, and now let's think about maybe we can, instead of using this here with a 0, let me see, how's this shroud clear frame, how's this set up? Okay, so it initializes with 0. Yeah. Fading none, what is this? Fading mode. How about we add an enum? Shroud, clear frame invalid equals 0u. Okay. Maybe we. This is an integer, unsigned integer. Yeah. unsigned int. This is, by the way, the right place to, the incorrect place to declare this. It should be in the header. Okay. Then we initialize it now with this guy. Then then we search for all shroud clear frame invalid. Yeah. Then we search for all places that call this function, which shouldn't be too many. Well. Okay, I'm surprised that here we have this code again. Huh. Render on object. Huh. Huh. Okay. Then we say here in invalid. Ah, shit. Drawbar. Ah, shit. Looks like we can't have it in here. Needs to be. Enum shroud clear frame. Shroud clear frame invalid. How about we call it shroud clear frame invalid? Well, how about we do a const unsigned int invalid shroud clear frame equals that. Can we do that? Can we do const expire? Not sure. Then here we say that. And then we go to ghost objects. And then here we say no, we no longer have the status here. Is that a problem? Draw set shroud clear frame to invalid. And then we go to remove parents objects. Then we do the same here, draw set shroud clear frame. Oh, could have just copy pasted that. Okay. Okay. When is this guy called? Clear. Clear. Clear frame. Hmm. 。 think here we can remove this. And then here we say if, let's say, bool obscured, shrouded, fogged. Shrouded. If shrouded, invalid shroud clear frame. Yeah, I think this might be right. Let's see. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, let's hope that this is going into the right direction. It seems plausible to me, but of course there can be errors. Okay, so the first thing that we test is a replay. Good. So then okay, so everything disappears. Let's step a frame. Okay, so it stays disappeared. That's good. Let's go back. Now we see the stuff. Yeah, this looks good. Okay, this looks very, very promising. Now if we switch here, the shadow disappears immediately. The ghost object is shown. We see here some particle, but we don't care. That will disappear. This looks pretty good. The radar is not updating immediately, but I think that's not that important. It takes a couple frames to update the radar. Maybe we could also refresh the radar, but let's test this here first. Okay, so this swapping now works properly. We can, in the frame, we can swap this, and it just works correctly. So this is fantastic. This is really fantastic. Okay, what we need to test now is that when we drive away from units, that it still shows the unit for a moment. Let's start a skirmish game. When the doors open, everything can be produced. Okay, so we have the technical. Then let's see what happens here with those oil derricks. And we drive away. And now the shadows should disappear immediately when the ghost object kicks in. That works correctly. Fantastic. Then let's check the... let's check the vehicle here. There's a vehicle up here, right? Let's check that. There. Good. So when we drive away, the vehicle should be still visible for 2 seconds, and it should cast its shadow. Whereas this one should stop casting its shadow because this one will be replaced with a ghost object. All right, let's see. Yeah, that works correctly. Let's check that again. So this shadow should disappear immediately, and yeah, this works correctly. This is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, I'm very happy about this. Everything works. Don't mind the broken vehicle physics. That's fixed in a different change. Okay, so that's cool. Yeah, everything works. Fantastic. Only the radar could need some updating now. How can we fix the radar? Let's see. Before we attend the radar, let's put some information into the ghost object. Let's delete this here. We don't need that anymore. Let's add a comment here. Super hackers add bug fix. When did we fix it? Yesterday, I think we fixed it. 06, 09, 2025. Now this code properly shrouds properly. Now this function properly updates ghost objects and shrouds and ghost objects and real objects when switching players. When changing players. And then here we say now this function properly updates all real objects when changing players without waiting for another frame update, another client frame update. This is particularly noticeable when changing player while the game is paused. Changing the player while the game is paused. This function now render updates. Well, another logic update, right? Logic step. I wonder. I still don't have clarity over whether these two things are really necessary. We need to test that a bit more. Test this and this. Okay, but let's check the radar stuff. I think we need to. We should do that in the other function where we call this, which is here, change local player. Okay, so radar updates. Basically, the radar only updates every X amount of frames, right? Do we have like a radar refresh function or so? Radar. Let me put a bookmark here. Radar. Let's see. Refresh terrain. Clear shroud. Set shroud level. So this update function here, this frame. I think there's also a W3D radar, right? Yeah. I suspect that the most magic happens here. So we have a refresh terrain function, whatever that does. Okay, let's see what this update does. Radar, oh, it just calls radar update. Okay, let's try to find the updates. Is it not here? Radar. Updates. Updates. Radar updates. I remember there was somewhere a function which does some update, and there is some value. I think it was value 6. Value 6. Man, where's this bullshit? Where's the 6? There was a 6 somewhere. Huh. Where's that? Ah. Here. Refresh rate? No. That's something else. Oh, but there is 6. Overlay refresh rate. Updates once this many frames. Ah, but it's for texture. But maybe that's the one, isn't it? I'm not sure. Oh. Yeah, render object list. Rebuild the object overlay. Yeah. Yeah. Draw the overlay image. Draw. Pixel, pixel. Struct view box. Okay, so this is updated every 6 frames, which explains the delay that we're seeing. So we probably need a function that just calls this refresh here, right? Maybe. Refresh terrain. Refresh terrain. And we call it. It needs to be virtual. Refresh terrain. Refresh terrain. Draw. Let's add a new function. I don't know why I typed void. Virtual void refresh drawing. Then here we call refresh drawing. Then we take this garbage and we put it into the new function. Which we put here. Refresh drawing. say if this is null, then return. Let's say if not null, then we do this. Okay, and then in the radar, we also need a function here. Refresh terrain. Refresh the refresh terrain. Virtual void refresh drawing. Refresh terrain. What the hell is refresh terrain? Refresh the drawing. Refresh the drawing for when refresh the drawing for when the state of objects, the state of the state of words objects have drastically refresh the drawing. The radar call this of the radar when the state of world objects changes drastically. Okay. Terrain. Refresh drawing. Okay. And then we go to our game client. Or maybe not, game logic. here we call the radar refresh drawing. Okay. Let's see if that works. Okay, let's see if that works. Good. So we click on this guy and it looks good. Let's click on back. Oh, it works. Look at that. We immediately see the radar being updated. Oh, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Very nice. Okay, that works. Okay, this looks relatively bug-free now. Wow. Wow. Not bad. Not bad at all. Cool. I think what we can also do, refresh drawing, it only really needs to do that. Refresh drawing. It only needs to do that if we have a const expr. Overlay refresh rate. If this one is overlay refresh rate 0, 1, if this is larger than 1, this is larger than 1. Ah, no, that's wrong. Refresh drawing, refresh. Let's create another function here. How about we do a new function? Render object list. Render object list. Render. How about we call it update overlay texture? Update void update texture. Texture. Okay, and then in here we call this texture. Updates object texture. And we have that. And then here we call update object texture. Overlay texture. Okay, I think that will also work. Maybe. Okay. Okay. Fresh. How about we call it refresh objects? Refresh objects. Fresh terrain, refresh objects. Maybe that's a better name. radar. Refresh the radar when the state of world object changes drastically. Okay, cool. Okay. Update fake drawballs. What is this? Okay, yeah. Okay, let's test that again. Okay. So we pause the game and we click and that looks good. And we click here and that also looks good. Fantastic. Okay, so that works very well. Good. Then what is the last? There still is question mark in regards to. Let me go to game. No, ghost objects. There's still a question mark in regards to these two here. Let me comment them out and see what happens. Well, I mean, for the local player, it's definitely necessary. It will update the radar. Yeah. Okay, so that looks wrong already. Let's only comment out this one guy here. So what this does is it refreshes the radar. Display shroud level and radar shroud level. Right. Yeah, clear shroud. Refresh shroud. Refresh shroud. Yeah. Refresh shroud. Refresh shroud. Yeah, so I don't know if it's necessary to call this guy, yeah. Let's see. Okay, so right now everything looks good, right? Good. So everything is fine. Let's fast forward a little bit. Okay, let's press pause. Okay, so let's see. We click on this guy and things look okay. Yeah. Looks okay. Yeah. Okay, let's click on back. Also looks okay. It seems like it's not necessary to call that one function. I added that earlier when I was experimenting. Yeah. Seems it's not necessary. Yeah. Refresh shroud for non-local player. Yeah. Yeah, we only get the shroud status here for the new player. We don't care about the old, so yeah, it seems that this is not necessary. We can test a bit more, see if we see any other bug, but it seems to be pretty solid. Yeah, this looks good to me. Yeah. Seems fine. Cool. Cool. Okay, what's the time? 1:22. Okay, I think I will take a break here. I think that was a pretty successful session. We fixed the radar, well, refreshed the radar. Then I will probably do some follow-up refactorings here. To try, like, I think there's too much happening in this function. Maybe we can create another function which we call like refresh objects, refresh objects for local player or so. Something like that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Good. All right, I'm very happy with the state that it currently works in. So we still need to do some refactoring and some cleanups. And we also need to make it work with the observed player. So what I'm doing right now is I'm forcing like the active player to be different in replay, but it shouldn't be that way. We should use the observing player to do all of this. So that needs some changing as well. But yeah, I think we are very close. This looks very, very promising. Yeah. Yeah. Just 2 days ago, I was majorly frustrated with this. Because nothing worked the way I desired it to be. But now we got it into a pretty decent state. Cool. All right. Then let's see if there's some comments we need to react to. No updates. Reviews are very slow here. Yeah, I currently have 13 changes up and they don't get reviews. We have way too many pending reviews. 77. Oof. 77. Yeah. Okay. Good. Then I will end it here. I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.